This segment is the bathtub and platform for the Parabola Master Bath. If you've been following along in our design, we've reached the point where we want to create our tub and our tub platform, and then the next video will actually address that wraparound bench you see. In the program, what we want to do is, in the library, I'm going to grab one of my bathtubs and we're just going to place that roughly into the area that we want near that window. So we'll grab our bathtub here, and I'm just going to roughly place that in the center of the window just to make sure. Let's use our center tool, center it, and I'm just going to pull it out here a little bit. So I've got my tub placed, and if we double click on the tub, you can see that the top height is 22 inches, and that's from the finished floor. So I'm going to use the same tool that we used earlier in the video to create our mirror, and it's called the polyline solid. I'm just going to come around here roughly and highlight that. Let's turn on our temporary dimension tool. Let's highlight our dimension here, and I'm going to set that dimension to be roughly, let's set it to be 47 inches. And I'm going to pull my tub back here just a little bit. I need extra room because I want symmetry between this space, which should be about 6 inches, and the edge of our wall over here, which should be about 6 inches when we finalize our wall elevation. So with that platform in place, let's open that up, and the elevation at the top, let's set that to be 23 inches and the thickness to be 23 inches. The reason I'm using 23 is that's going to go down to the subfloor, which is 7/8 of an inch, and that will realistically actually put it 1/8 of an inch above the tub. Let's select OK, and let's take a 3D view so you can see what we have going on. Use my camera here. You won't be able to see the tub when I take this 3D view because we just encapsulated it in a big block. Well, you can see part of it. And let's tile our views here. So the next step I want to do is use the exact same tool, and I'm draw a marquee around the tub. Select that component and mark it to have a hole so it will cut it out. So now you can see that platform. Now the next thing I'm going to do, because I want a 1 inch or a 1/2 inch overhang, is and I also want a different material on the top of the tub platform. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the original polyline solid that we created for that platform, and I'm going to copy that in place. You won't see actually anything happen when I click that. And now I'm going to drag this out, and as I'm dragging it out, I'm just going to press the tab key. And while I press the tab key, all I have to do is enter in the amount that I want that overhang. So in this case, let's put in a 1/2 inch and select OK. So if you zoom in, you'll see that that overhang is just slightly over the top of it. And I'm going to double click on it, and now I'm going to set the elevation of that to be 23 and 3/4, and we'll change this to also be 3/4 of an inch thick. That's now going to give me a lip that I can apply a different material on. And using our material eyedropper in a 3D view, let's grab the material off the sink. We'll click it on the top of that element, and then let's go into our library and let's find a matching tile that's smaller in the Dell Tile catalog. I believe it's where I got the original one. So let's scroll down into the Dell Tile catalog, and it should be ceramic, emblem, and here's their mosaic tile. Let's grab that material and we'll apply it to that tub platform. Let's broaden our 3D view here, close our library, and if you zoom in, you can see our tub and the cutout for it. Now the next thing is, in the library, let's go ahead and place, let's go into our plan view, let's place our sink faucet, and I've saved that favorite sink faucet down here in my library. So once I find my tub faucet, let's just zoom out here. Press F6 on the keyboard, and then I'll use my scroll wheel on the mouse. Click and place our faucet. Now this tub has requirement for an access panel, and I'm going to turn on the framing layer so we can see our framing for the wall. I want our access panel to go in one of these two bays. Being able to show framing is a premier feature. If you're using interiors, you can just simply draw a CAD box where that framing may be. I'm going to use the box tool, and I'm going to come in here and create our access panel. Let me highlight that element, and let's put a fill in it. And I'm going to use a horizontal hatch, and I just accept the defaults. Now you can see that fill, and the next thing to do is to put a call out so I can put my floor plan notes together. And I'm going to change that to be a little bit larger number. Let's go ahead and set that to be 4 inches because I'm going to do this at half-inch scale. And with my footnotes, my floor plan notes, I'm going to put on the plan in a subsequent video for the construction drawings. I'll be able to refer to that access panel and that footnote for the tub. Now the final step for the tub platform is to create our niche that surrounds the back wall. And I'm going to use the same process that I did for the vanity if you were watching earlier. In the wall elevation, we'll use the Backsplash tool here. And I'm going to come in and snap on the top of the soffit, and I'm just going to draw it down a little ways. If I highlight the edge here and turn on my temporary dimensions, I can then click on the exact dimension that I want and enter that in. I'm going to set it to be 8 inches. And then I'll just pull that down to the top of the tub platform and change the thickness of this to be 8 inches. And then using the copy and then reflect about tool, we can come in here and move that to the other side. At the top, we'll create our next backsplash, snap it into place, and as I'm scrolling down here, I'm just going to press the tab key, and I'm going to replace that bottom dimension with an 8, save myself one extra step on the dimensions, double click on it, and change the thickness to 8 inches. Now I can switch gears and go back into the camera view over here. So now you can see the niche in 3D, and I guess the last step that I'm going to show in the process is adding a few accessories. It looks pretty good now, but here's a tip. If you're going out to your client site, you have your phone on you. Most of those would have a camera. Grab a photo of the client's lot if you find a good shot to take, and then you can drop that into the backdrop. I've got my own collection here, and underneath my backdrops you can choose from a variety that I've taken. So all you have to do is create your own backdrops folder and then just import those in. And I'm going to grab a photo that I took earlier, and once I click on that, all I have to do is come over here and click inside the window and click and place that. And you can then customize that to your client's project and really kind of help make it more personal and get them emotionally involved, and may help you sell the job a little quicker. The other thing is to add accessories. You'll find in the library in Chief Architect core and bonus catalogs. In my core catalogs, my bonus catalogs, I've downloaded a handful of items off of the chiefarchitect.com website and the 3D library. Not all of them, just a few. But one of the things is just to add some accessories. If I grab one of our elements here, you get a preview of it. You can simply click and place that if I can get the right angle on it. And then I've also got some artwork, and you can go out to websites, something like art.com, and grab different art. If I click and place one of these elements on the wall, let's see if I can pull that down here. Just slide that down here a little bit. And let's see if I've got a different piece of art. So here's a different piece of art that I grabbed, and what I've done there is just placed a picture frame in there, and then I can apply a different piece of artwork in there. Maybe it's a particular genre that is of interest to your client. And now you can finish that up. You can ray trace the image. And then the next step that we're going to do is to explore the shower and creating the niches in there. And the very first segment that we'll address is creating that wrap around bench that goes through the shower and attaches into the tub platform. So that'll be in our next video segment.